Welcome to the Radiant Life podcast. I am your host, Tatiana, and I am a master mindset coach, and I'm obsessed with empowering you to live and create your best life possible. If you're looking to uplevel your mindset, life, happiness, and success, then you're in the right place. My goal with this podcast is to help you see the potential within yourself, to be able to break the limiting beliefs and habits that are holding you back, and to help you feel inspired to get clear with who you are in order to create the life you desire. Thank you so much for listening. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello. Welcome back to the Radiant Life podcast. I hope you're having a great day. Today, let's talk about how to set boundaries and stop people pleasing. Oh my goodness, this is a topic I love to talk about because I used to be the biggest people pleaser. I cared so much about pleasing everybody else and their needs and doing everything that they asked me to do that I literally lost myself. And I was like, what do I want, right? Or I would resent them and then feel guilty, and it was a never-ending circle. And it took me so long to really learn how to set boundaries respectfully and to stay true to myself. And I find this, I see this with my clients. I see this with people I talk about. It's just such a common tendency, right? And if you're listening to this, it's probably because you have some people-pleasing tendencies and you need to set some boundaries. So welcome. Let's get into it. I'm excited. So I want you to think about a time that you did something you did not want to do, but you did it anyways. Something that you agreed to that you didn't want to. Maybe it was to hang out with a friend, to do a favor, a coworker, for a boss, whatever it may be. Think about a specific time. And maybe you said yes because you were afraid of someone getting mad at you. Maybe you were afraid of hurting their feelings, whatever it may be. Think of a specific time that you agreed to do something and you didn't want to do it, aka people pleasing, right? And I want you to think about what emotions came up for you as you're thinking about this instant. Did you feel anxious? Did you feel angry? Were you feeling guilty? Are you feeling resentment towards that person because they're constantly asking you to do things and you're constantly saying yes and you just resent that? Like, what are some emotions that are coming up? Be aware of them. And now as you think about this specific instance, I want you to ask yourself, why could I not say no to that person, to that favor, whatever it may be? What was I afraid of? Because really, though, what are you afraid of? For me, I tend to have the thought of like, I don't want to hurt their feelings or I don't want to let them down. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you're afraid of that person being angry and not talking to you. Maybe you're afraid of that person putting some judgment or opinion on you. What are you afraid of? And get clear here because you want to identify why do you say yes when you want to say no? Isn't that like a Justin Bieber song? I think it is. But anyways, so I want you to look at this as setting boundaries in a way that is serving you. I think a lot of people feel like setting boundaries is rude or harsh or whatever you might have labeled it as. But I want you to see it as protecting your own energy. Because that's exactly what it is, right? Like, you need to protect your own energy. You need to protect your time. And if you're not feeling aligned, then you're just doing things out of alignment and you're just draining energy, right? And it's important to think about, how do you feel around certain people, certain environments, doing certain activities? Because if you are in an environment where you're constantly feeling like you're pleasing others and doing everything for everybody else, that's something to become aware about. Or maybe certain people tend to abuse your kindness, aka your people-pleasing tendencies, and they constantly will ask you for things because they know you won't say no and you won't put the boundary. So getting really clear of like how certain people, environments, and activities make you feel. Because at the end of the day, no one is in charge of your life. Absolutely no one other than you. You are in control of your own life. You get to choose who you hang out with, who your friends are, when you go out, when you stay home. You get to choose your decisions. And it's easy to get caught up in, well, I feel bad or I'll feel guilty. I'm a bad friend. Yeah, but don't you want friends that support you and respect you when you need time for yourself or when you're not aligned to doing something? Like, it's a part of life to outgrow people, and it's a part of life to stop enjoying things that you used to do and maybe try new things. So, for example, maybe your friends are still in the partying phase and maybe they're still, going out and getting drunk and all that, and you aren't about that anymore. Yet you don't want to say no because you don't want them to judge you, or you're afraid of what they'll think of you, or you're afraid of losing those friendships, right? But maybe you're just outgrowing them, outgrowing those activities, and that's okay. We're human beings. We're constantly evolving and we're constantly growing, and it's okay to say no to what doesn't serve you anymore. Having the fear of people to get mad at you, I mean, it's understandable, right? Like, that's a common human fear to have. We don't want to make people mad. We avoid that confrontation or that feeling, most people. But if these people are going to get mad at you for doing something for you and sticking to what you're aligned with and, honoring yourself and your energy, if they're going to really get mad at you, take a second and be like, do you really want those people in your life? Honestly. Or would you rather find some friends that are supportive? People are on your side. People are saying, I understand, take time for yourself. There's no need to come, right? Or there's no need to do it. I'll ask someone else if it's like a favor, whatever it may be. I don't know about you, but those are the type of friends I want. Those are the type of friends that I have. And when you can have that friendship, when you're on the same page, you can just vocally communicate, hey, honestly, I can't right now. I'm not feeling it. I really need some downtime, or I'm not aligned to that. And if I'm not aligned, that's a no, right? If it doesn't excite you, if it's not something you want to do, don't do it, right? And if you're doing it because you have FOMO, ooh, I feel you. I do that too. And then I start resenting myself and I'm like, oh, why did I come? I just wanted to like cuddle up in my couch and watch a movie. And I came here because I didn't want people to think I was lame, or I didn't want to have FOMO. And then guess what? You start resenting yourself. Like, no, set the boundaries, honor yourself, respect yourself, right? Because if you start to say yes to everything, people will remember that and they'll continue to ask you, but then you're going to get overwhelmed and you're just going to stretch yourself out. And again, you're not going to be living your life for yourself. You're going to be living it for other people, for what they want you to do, for how they want you to live, to come out here, hang out here, let's go get a drink, whatever it may be. You want to live life for yourself, right? And again, like, I don't want people in my corner who don't support me and don't understand when I say no, because I don't want to lie to them. I don't want to have to make up an excuse and be like, oh, I have to go to my grandparents' house because that was the only way I had the courage to say no. Like, that used to be me. I used to say excuses. My mom used to be like, just blame it on me. She was, if you're listening to this, Mom, thanks, but no, that was not good. Validating the people-pleasing tendencies. I couldn't be honest with myself and be honest with others, and that was so bad, right? I didn't want to lie to them, and I didn't want to resent them after it. So realizing, like, it's time to set some boundaries. So 2 things that you can do to take away from this to really start setting these boundaries and stop these people-pleasing tendencies. Start paying attention to how you feel in certain situations, people, and your environment. You do not need to do anything you do not want to do. Let me repeat that one more time. I'm giving you permission to not need to do anything else that you do not want to do. And if you do it, you're wasting your energy and your time, and your energy and time is so important. I highly doubt you want to look back and resent doing the things just to please others versus pleasing yourself, right? You need to make choices that make you feel good, that make you feel excited, that you are aligned with. Because if you can't respect and honor yourself and your boundaries and your limits, how can you expect anybody else to? Ooh, that was some tough love. But really though, that was like, I think what got me, I was like, wow, if I can't respect myself enough to say, no, I don't want to do this. No, I'm not aligned to this. Like, I wasn't respecting myself. I wasn't honoring myself. So how could I expect the same from other people? Right? So pay attention. How do certain people make you feel? How do certain situations make you feel? What are things that spark up your joy, actually things you want to do versus you doing things just to be a part of the crowd and to people please, whatever it may be. The second thing is that next time someone asks you something to do and you feel that you don't want to do it, but then you don't want to let them down, you're back in that limbo like, I want to say no, but then I want to say yes because I don't want you to be let down or whatnot. Take a second. Always take a second before making a decision and ask yourself why. Why are you so afraid of saying no and setting the boundary? What do you have to lose by saying no? You lose nothing. Your friend's not gonna never be your friend again. And if they are, well, then that speaks volumes. You have nothing to lose. You're gonna be more happy. Remember, have you ever had a time where you actually do stay in and you're watching a movie and you're like, oh my goodness, I am just so happy I just didn't go out and I said no? You get that little giddy feeling, you're so proud of yourself. You're like, I made the right decision. Yeah, that's what you want to do with every decision, right? You have nothing to lose. You're showing yourself that you respect yourself. You respect your energy. Again, back to your time and energy is precious. And if they don't understand, you don't need them. Unfortunately, you want people that are going to support you and be like, yo, I respect that you have to go do that right now. I respect that you need time. That's how I respond when my friends say it, because I respect them, because I understand what it's like, right? And this is just going to take time. This is going to take some time for you to get used to. You're going to have to work that habit muscle of being courageous and being true to yourself, to saying no. No doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean anything. So take away that labels to it and ask yourself. And so this next time, you just want to bring awareness to the thoughts and the feelings that you're experiencing in that moment, and ask yourself, is it worth it? Is me saying yes worth it? Am I going to feel happy after this? Or go into a future tense, or am I going to resent this? Am I going to feel guilty? Am I going to beat myself up for saying yes when I knew I should have said no? Right? Put yourself in a future tense, and just maybe you need to have some conversations with your friends and family. Maybe you need to say, hey guys, this has nothing against you. This is nothing personal, but something I'm working on is being more true to myself and setting boundaries, because I found I have a people-pleasing tendency. So if I say no to something, please don't take it personally. I'm just trying to work on this, because it's not just with you guys. Maybe it's with coworkers or with other friends. And have that open communication with your friends and family. That's so empowering. And they're going to be like, oh, yes, I understand. And maybe it'll encourage them to do the same. Or if they take it personally, they're mad again. You don't need that in your life. So remember, you get to choose how you live your life. You get to choose your decisions. You get to choose what you want and live your life to please you. I have an affirmation sticky note on my wall. It's been there since I moved down here. 2.5 years ago, I put it on. Who are you living your life for? For yourself or for others? So ask yourself that question. Remind yourself this is going to take time. It's okay to be uncomfortable. Growth happens when you're outside of your comfort zone. And start living your life for you, and little by little setting the boundaries and making sure it's something that you want to do. All right, well, that concludes today's little episode. I hope this gives you the courage and inspires you and empowers you to start saying no from this point forward. Break that people-pleasing tendency and start to begin setting some boundaries. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you got some good golden nuggets, please take a screenshot, share it on Instagram, and tag me at Tatiana_Kuto. And if you have a fellow people-pleasing friend, sibling, family member, coworker, anybody who could really value from this episode, please send this along so we can help each other. I appreciate you so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with me and write an Apple iTunes review so I can keep the good stuff coming your way. If you aren't following me already, you can find me on Instagram at Tatiana_Kuto. I appreciate you so much and cannot wait to see you in the next episode. In the meantime, continue to shine bright and embrace your radiance.